analyzing a new data set today. So this is for my individual project. The data set obviously we're analyzing is the top 100 wealthiest people in the world and the industries that they work in. So I found a data set very interesting online from Kagler. It takes the 2023 data of the top 1,000 billionaires and the industries that they work across and columnizes them into a data set that we are allowed to now visualize using the packages I created. So, of course, some interesting things to note that we needed were in the make file. We needed this rough check because it's a better way of linting and it's a better way of looking for errors within our code. So we put that in there. We have um, also we so instead of just writing out any old code, we now have a package, and the init py is used for storing the lib.py as an actual package, so that now when we import things, we, as you see right here, it's much easier to just import things as a package. Then the last thing that's very important, rather than just having one YAML file, we have four, and this is helpful in basically when if you have one YAML file and because this can very well be put all into one file, but when that happens, if there's an error, it's very hard to find where that error exists. Rather than splitting things up, it makes finding the error a lot more easier, which actually I found very useful during this project because my last project there was an error and it had to do with the YAML, and you don't know where in the entirety of the program that there's an error. So now, let's just move on to the actual data and the actual project. So the intro, the purpose of this project is to create a notebook that utilizes pandas to, generate a descriptive data set. Data set right here. So we load our data set. Then from there, we're testing to just make sure that everything runs well. From there, we're just testing again, making sure that all of our loaded data sets, all of our loaded functions work well. And then from there, we have our data visualization plot in the pie chart. So we'll run that one more time. And of course, you can see it was already plotted, but if you run that again, you'll see all the industries, retail, petrochemicals. And obviously, as you see, retail and technology are the biggest ones. And the description of the data is also very telling. The average billionaire has $102 billion. That is a very wide margin of wealth. So it's not like your average billionaire. Out of these 1,000 people, the average amount is 102. So it's not like the average amount is a lot lower and it's skewed. It seems like because the maximum is 200 million. So it seems like if you're rich, you're only going to get richer. But there's some interesting statistics, and then the minimum is 1.5. So out of these 1,000 people, the minimum billionaire has 1.5 billion, which is to be expected. So then again, I just wrote my conclusion down, and from there, I would like to actually analyze this data set a little bit more, but it's very interesting and very powerful to see how we can use pandas to analyze data sets and understand better what is going on within the data set. Also, as you look at my conclusion, I said it's kind of hard to paint a picture because there's obviously some crossover in the industries, as well as there's going to be more statistics that play a role in just how much wealth there is. I don't think industry, age, and net worth. There were a couple other of data columns that I choose to just neglect because I just wanted to plot specifically the net worth against the industry. As you can see here in my main.py, that is actually, oh, I'm sorry, in my library, this is actually how we chose to plot it, just by grouping it by the industry and the network. But thank you for attending this video, and I hope that you learned something and gained something from this.